Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Halo Effect. I am Robert Lockhart, your host. Hey, let's talk some baseball, shall we? Okay, well, if anything, I believe I got most of the egg off of my face. For those of you who are curious, I like my crow with a little bit of garlic butter. Makes it taste a lot better. For for those of you who are a little bit curious, I was saying in my last one that Shohei Ohtani would most likely stay with the Angels. Holy crap, was I wrong. He decided to go cross town to the Dodgers with all the glitz and glamour, which shocked the heck out of me. I never really thought he'd actually do that. But $700 million. Just by saying that, I feel like Dr. Evil, doing this, all that. But man, $700 million. With that kind of money, the man could buy half the teams in Japan. Hell, he could probably buy half of Japan. This time in about 20, 30 years, the capital of Japan may very well be Tokyo Ohtani now. Who knows? At this point in time, he probably could do it. You never know. But with that said, the man's officially a Dodger, signed today. And I'm going to go on record by saying, man, Dodgers, Freeman, I gotta say, you guys are really, really crazy greedy, man. Uh, you didn't need Shohei. I already know you didn't need Shohei. You wanted him. You wanted the name. You wanted the intrigue, the all the stuff that kind of went with it. That kind of media, that kind of recognition, you wanted it. I mean, who wouldn't? He brings a lot of it. That's greed, man. See, the Angels needed him. He was the head of the rotation. He was one of the biggest cornerstones of the lineup. He's the only one that's pretty much stayed healthy. But he's a Dodger now. So congratulations. You got him for the next 10 years. And he was even willing to seriously, majorly defer most of his salary so you guys could stay competitive with your spending. Possibly going out, bringing in the young fireballer from Japan, Yoshinobu Yamamoto. I think that's his name. But, I mean, man, you talk about a guy who is willing to be super generous and really kind of let you still be able to bring in other free agent pitchers. Man, he's really allowing you to be the Yankees of the West, isn't he? Might as well just rename your team. Yankees of the West. The LA Yankees of the West. Because that's what you are. That's basically what you become. Pretty sad if you ask me. But if that's the way you guys want to conduct business, by all means. Because this is a business. It has gone from a game to a business. It was something kids invented back in the 1800s. And yet somehow adults have made it a profession and just really kind of ran with it. Ran downhill face first into a pile of gravel, but they ran with it. So, with that said, what do the Angels do now? You got to replace his bat. You got to replace his arm on the mound. Seriously, back to a drawing board here. I was saying last time, Glasnow would probably be a good fit. You really have to give up a lot for the man, though. They may very well have to give up one of your major leagues ready pitchers, quite possibly Detmers. If not him, possibly Silseth. It's a difficult one because they're going to want controllable major league ready pitching for a guy like Glasnow. Another possibility would have been Corbin Burns, but from what I understand, Milwaukee's kind of redacting on that. They're wanting him to start opening day and be their number one guy for the next year. That's what they're looking at. People were saying earlier today that it's probably best Milwaukee trade him now. You can get better value for him rather than mid-season at the trade deadline. And they're right. Right now, you can get really good value for him because he came off a pretty decent season. Not his best, but a decent season. Over the last 3 years, this is a guy who's a one-time Cy Young Award winner. I think I said two-time at one point. I was wrong. It's a one-time Cy Young Award winner. Over the last 3 years, has averaged a sub-3 ERA. If I remember, it was about 2.96, 2.98, something like that, which is very, very good. He's a guy who's been ahead of the rotation for Milwaukee for the last few years and has done very well. So he would work very, very well for the Angels rotation, especially heading up guys, getting in front of guys like Patrick Sandoval, like Chase Silseth, like Griffin Canning. It would allow the Angels not only to have their ace, but actually now extend him. They can make the trade. They can, sign him long term for the next 7-8 years. Because I remember he's 30 years old. So 7 or 8 years would be, the better way to go. Glasnow, you can do the same thing. He's a little younger. I think he's about 28, 29. So you can sign him a little bit longer if you like. He does have an injury history, unfortunately, so you have to worry about that. But when he's healthy, he's good. He's very good. His stuff is incredible. He's pitched to a 3.10 ERA, if I remember correctly. And that's mostly because of the fact that, he's shaking off rust, so his stuff's not moving the way it should until he actually gets going. In which case, once he gets going, he's probably one of the better ones you'll ever see in the league right now. So, these are options. If you want Dylan Cease from the White Sox, you're going to have to give up a lot to get him because he's got 2 years of control left before he's a free agent. So you'd have to give up a lot more than just, a major league ready pitcher, a future pitcher, and a couple other pieces. It's a hard one. It's very difficult. You can go the free agent market, but you do that too much and you're giving away your draft picks. Here's one of the things that I know I would have done. I would have traded for Glasnow, extended him, and then signed Blake Snell. That way you would have Glasnow and Snell as your 1-2, which would be a pretty good pitching duo. But the problem is Snell's kind of attached to a draft pick, second rounder, if I remember. And right now, Halos, you can use all the early draft picks you can get. My suggestion is just trade, get Glasnow, or if you can work up a decent enough package to get Corbin Burns, that'd be great. Either one would do wonders for your rotation. Now, for his bat, again, you're talking about a difficult situation. How do you replace Ohtani's bat? You have absolutely nobody in your system that can do it. Absolutely no one. Possibility of maybe Cody Bellinger. You can bring him in. Again, he's tied to a draft pick, so that's a bit of an issue. But you can bring him in. He can play first because he doesn't need to play the outfield. He can give you a gold glove over at first base. Shanoel is mostly known for his bat, not his defense. He's an adequate defender. There's nothing wrong with him. But Cody Bellinger would be the better defender over at first base. Shanoel can be the DH, and you can, kind of equal the production somehow from there. Another issue with Cody Bellinger, I think, he's a Scott Boras client. He's got a bit of an injury history. Don't forget, his last couple years with the Dodgers, he just could not find that MVP all-star form of his. And the Dodgers gave up on him. He took a year deal with the Cubs and had a resurgence. Maybe the injuries are behind him. I don't know. But bear in mind, we already have a Scott Boras client on our team that is already dealing with injuries. You know who I'm talking about. Don't, excuse me. My bad. A bit of a tickle in my throat there. So, when it comes to Bellinger, I would say buyer beware. Whoever's going to take a flyer on him, he's a risk, sure. But if he stays healthy, he's more than well worth it. He's quite the ball player. He really is. He's a 5-tool player. He's got a strong arm for the outfield if you need him there. He runs fast. I remember when he first came up with the Dodgers, he was their first baseman. I'd never seen a first baseman beat out a ground ball in my life. I'll tell you that for a fact. That dude's fast. Gives you a good glove. Gives you good hitting ability. I watch a lot of MLB Network, and one of the shows that I like to watch is MLB Now. It really is kind of interesting when they delve into a lot of the numbers, saying that they were saying that his exit velocity is down. I say give him time to really kind of find that stroke of his. Again, he's coming off of injuries, one season off of an injury. You're not going to be exactly fully yourself. And let's not forget, he didn't even touch 30 home runs this year. He came close, but he didn't. Usually he's about 30 plus. And his exit velocity is usually incredible. So, you can give him a shot. But like I said, buyer beware. He does have an injury history. You do got to be careful with him. He is a Scott Boras client. We all know what he has a tendency to get out of his clients. I don't like to do smear campaigns in any way, shape, or form, but the man's basically a leech and a snake, if you ask me. But that's my opinion. What do I know? So, with that said, Perry, you got some work to do. And man, you better get on it, because you're going to need it. You don't have a number one in your rotation by any stretch of the imagination. You have nobody in your farm system that can be a number one in your rotation. The closest that comes to is maybe Caden Dana. And even I think he is still lacking a little bit. He may, much like Pat, much like Chase Silseth, he may very well be a really good number two in your rotation. I don't think he's a number one. I honestly don't. Unless you can put more life on that fastball of his, I don't see it. So, with that said, two things. One, Glasnow or Burns. Those are your two best bets for the rotation to fill in for Ohtani's arm. Bat-wise, good luck. May very well need to go J.D. Martinez. He's not a left-handed bat. He's a right-handed bat. You're going to be predominantly right-handed, except for Shanoel and Moniak. But for the most part, you do have talent. You do have good pieces. I wouldn't worry too much, but you really need to be able to fill that void. It's going to be hard, but it's possible. So yeah, Glasnow or Burns for the mound, and quite possibly just J.D. Martinez to fill the void at DH. So, with that said, also, watch out for the free agent market. Don't give up draft picks, because you're going to need them. And when the 2024 draft comes along, Perry, I know you've already done it. You did it in 2021 where you had nothing but pitching, nothing but pitchers. And that was good. But now we need it again. Unless Sam Bachman is good enough to be the head of your rotation, again, injury history, so be careful with that. He's already in the bigs. He's in your bullpen, but is he ready for the rotation? That's the question you really need to ask yourself. One guy I would definitely say take a look at, pay very, very close attention to this coming season in college. University of Texas pitcher by the name of Tanner Witt. He was in the draft last year. He went 18th. In the 18th round, he was drafted, which I thought was nuts. This guy's got front of the rotation stuff. I have no idea why he dropped so far, except for maybe his arm injury that he had. But he's fully healthy. He's going to rock and roll for this season. He did the smart thing by declining to sign with Baltimore because, 18th round. You know what you're capable of, and you're going to sign for 18th round money? I don't think so. But keep an eye on him. Tanner Witt out of the University of Texas. He'll be good. I really think he'll be good. He's got great velocity on his fastball, good movement. He's got a killer split and a nasty slider. So, again, pay very close attention to him. Trade market wherever you can. Be wary of free agents and losing draft picks. If you have to lose a draft pick, yeah, Blake Snell, if you can get him. Because I know he wants to pitch for Seattle. But if you can get him, grab him. Don't make him the head of your rotation, but grab him. And then trade for Glasnow or Burns. Use one of your major league ready pitchers to be part of the package. That might entice him. And then go from there. That's the best advice I can give you. Not many people listen to my advice. I don't know why, but that's how it is. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to call it there. And I will see you guys probably Wednesday. Go Halos.